And just a few steps away from the last video is the hardy kiwi, which is the Anna. It's going to be really big fruits this year. And I have to keep literally hacking this back. It's amazing, and I just take it and feed it to the goats. It's one of their favorites, just so we can get in. And then I've got some cinnamon vine, Chinese yam, and there's a nectarine, and full of fruit. You can't see it, but then some onions. Leeks have gone to seed, which are gorgeous. Nasturtiums have taken over, and so I'm having to cut that back like crazy because it's starting to hide another other plants in there. You can see right in there, there's another young nectarine that we just planted last year, and I have to keep feeding that to the goats too. And then a tomato I found coming up somewhere else, so I transplanted it here, and it's just gorgeous, all these nasturtiums on the wall. And we got a lemon over here. I keep cutting out a spot for it. It's coming back from the main stem, which survived the winter actually. It survived with its leaves, and it's got a whole bunch of new growth on it. And around the front of the house we have more leeks. We got the thyme going to seed, which has been beautiful with all those flowers on it attracting pollinators. We've got lavender and more new sage growth. It's great having those herbs right outside the door. Lavender, sunflower just volunteered there. All kinds of edible things. And my rosemary's coming back to life really nice. And right here, in the way of the walkway, is plums starting to yellow, and we love eating those. Those are excellent little plums. And then the fuzzy kiwis, our hanging out spot, bunch of garlic over on the table drying, cob patio. And it's just beautiful in here with so much shade and all the plants, and it's just so much, so dense. And then the grapes, I keep cutting those back too and feeding them to the goats. Same with the persimmon. It's one of our favorite plants, extremely tolerant to all kinds of conditions, and no pests eat it. It's just vigorous and happy, and producing a ton of fruit, which keeps so well. And eat yourself silly on those, and they all mature at slightly different times. You can pick them when they just start to get some color, and they just slowly ripen up over a couple of months on the coffee table. And then up to the front door, we got more volunteer sunflowers. I let some live. Can only have so many. I love them. And then I got bees all over too. More nasturtiums. Keep cutting a spot out for the tomato. It seems happy. And another tomato and some little basils. They're just starting to grow like crazy. All kinds of weeds, but you can eat them. Most of them. And I've planted some pretty plants in here. Parker, our son, recommended a couple of things. He's working in a nursery now. And 2 more nectarines, because they just thrive here under the south-facing overhang. Unfortunately, the stone fruits, we can't feed leaves to the goats. They have their limits. And then the olive tree is getting lots of new growth on it, and I have to keep, and it's planted in there with false indigo, which I have to keep cutting back and feeding to the goats. Seems to be a common theme. Our irrigation system, our ancient doorbell from a train station. My grandfather used to work for CN. Front door. We don't sit much, as you can see. It gets too hot there now, but we sit there a lot in the winter because the sun just comes straight in there. It's gorgeous. And there's bees. Love the bees. Having a good time. Anyways, that's the front door.